welcome or welcome back to Champion the Passion, a weekly pro wrestling podcast where we inspire you to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love. I'm your host. My name is Victoria Daisy, and today we are going to be recapping everything that happened last night on Monday Night Raw. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. But let's get right into the opening segment with Seth freaking Rollins and his crew. Once again, still don't know what to call them because they don't have a faction name. And I really wish they did because I don't ever know what to call them. But let's get right into it. So they all came out into the ring getting ready to have a fun little segment to open a Monday Night Rollins. Why not? So Braun Breaker stole the mic from Seth to talk about how the wise man and Seth Rollins have a plan that includes Braun being the face of the WWE for the next 2 decades. And when he said that, Seth and Paul looked at him and kind of got mad and a little bit curious. And I have to be honest, though, this was Braun's best promo, probably of his entire career. This is pretty much the first time we've heard him spoke since getting called up. And I really loved it. It was a great heel promo. And it also gave us some context clues, some snippets that could probably play a factor in the future. Obviously, him saying that this plan includes him, being the face of the WWE for the next 2 decades. That seemed like something that Seth and Paul weren't aware of per se. So I really enjoyed that. And, saying he wants to end Sami Zayn and him continuing to assault him by saying he's as athletic as a dead fish and just saying all these crazy mean things made me laugh and really added to this whole entire promo that I loved. And then Bronson Reed got on the mic, and I honestly feel like this is the first promo I've heard of him like ever. I'm sure he's cut one before, but not to my knowledge. I mean, I don't remember him talking on a mic. Maybe I have poor memory, but whatever. It just feels like his first promo of this entire year, which actually it might be. And, he did a great job continuing to advance his character and the faction's character as a whole in what he said. But something that stood out to me is that, in both promos, his and Braun's, they both expressed self-centered plans. And, Seth didn't look terribly happy about that. And, one day, I'm telling you, it's going to lead to their demise because at the end of the day, while Seth is guiding Braun and Bronson and like bringing them up to be these big stars, we all know how this type of storyline goes. Like, it won't last forever. And so I'm really intrigued to see kind of how that all plays out in the future. But then we had Paul Heyman get on the microphone, and he got on the mic to kind of just reiterate everything that the guys were saying and basically, send out a warning to Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Penta for their matches later on in the night and against the faction because they will be finished. And so, also a quick note, Paul Heyman talked a lot about Roman Reigns. And I just have to say, please keep summoning my tribal chief because I need him back ASAP. I don't know if he's coming back Saturday night's main event. I don't know if he's coming back SummerSlam, if he's ever coming back at all. I just need him back. And so keep saying his name because hopefully he's like Joe Hendry and he'll appear. Overall, though, it was a really great segment. I loved hearing from Braun and Bronson and learning their next steps as they head towards Saturday night's main event. Obviously, we know Seth Rollins and LA Knight have a match, so I'm curious to see if that ends up playing a part into anything with what we heard from last night. But let's get into the first match of the night. We had Kairi Sane versus Roxanne Perez. Now, you guys already know I have nothing nice to say about Roxanne Perez, so we're just going to skip to the good part. Kairi Sane won the match, and she kicked her booty, but then Roxanne threw a childish fit, which of course, and she attacked Kairi with Raquel's help. And then I was like, okay, who is going to come out to help Kairi? And then Asuka came out and we got the reunion of the Kabuki Warriors. And I was so excited to see them fight against Judgment Day. And now they will be a part of the Fatal 4-Way match, the Fatal 4-Way tag team match at Evolution for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. championships, excuse me. So it's going to be Roxanne and Raquel defending against Asuka and Kyrie, against Alexa and Charlotte, against Sol and Zarya. So I think that that's going to be a really fun four-way this weekend that I'm definitely looking forward to. The next match of the night was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Now this was a crazy match because Karrion Kross attacked Sami Zayn from behind before the match even started. So the storyline that they kind of were rolling with for this match was that, Sammy was wrestling hurt and that, he was almost not even cleared to wrestle the match after that point. His ribs were taped up and it was just this whole thing. And then during the match, Braun Breaker was an absolute savage as he always is and truly broke him in half. He was so ruthless to his ribs and it was honestly crazy but entertaining at the same time. And of course in the end Braun Breaker won, but that was kind of their way of writing Sammy off of TV. Now obviously he's not really injured, at least to my knowledge, so I'm not too sure why he's getting written off TV. I don't know if there's something personal or he just wants some time off, but wishing him the best during this time. And the next thing was a Becky Lynch segment. So she came out to talk about her match at Evolution this coming weekend. It's a triple threat match to defend the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. And she was saying how she's mad that she didn't get to pick her opponent like Io Sky did. And she thinks that Bayley and Lyra are in cahoots because she believes that they believe the only way to get the title off of Becky is if they work together to get it off for her, which is obviously not the case, and she's going crazy. So then Bayley came out, and then Lyra came out quickly after, and I just have to say, Lyra is so freaking good. She is so beyond her years. She is a wizard on that mic. Her improvement over the last year is actually insane. You can tell the hard work she puts in because if you look at a promo from a year ago today all the way until last night, I mean, oh my gosh, it's a day and night difference. And I love her and I love what she does and I think she's amazing. Everything she said was gold. And, to be honest, before they could even really continue to start fighting back, they physically fought back and they were all brawling and it was this whole thing. And then Lyra and Bayley, talked about the rise and fall, about their friendship and how everything just became the chaos it is today and how gold changes everything. And, they went from verbally fighting to physically fighting. And I'm just intrigued to see what happens Sunday. I have a feeling that Becky might retain, but there's also a gut feeling in me that says maybe Lyra wins it. I don't know. Lyra's really getting pushed dramatically right now. And I know some people are like, well, she lost the title, but that's still a push in a way because she's getting put in a freaking storyline with 2 out of the 4 horsewomen. Do you understand how huge of a deal that is? So I am really excited for this match and I'm really intrigued to kind of see what happens at Evolution with this match. I hope that this is the main event. I feel like it's the only match that really deserves to be in the main event, besides Io and Rhea, but I definitely do think this one should be the main event. So whatever. It is what it is. Let's see what happens. Then we had Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. Now, this was a crazy, crazy match. And it started to really go somewhere until the match ended via disqualification because Bronson Reed thought it would be a great idea to literally throw a desk chair at Jey Uso's face. Not at his body. He threw it, boom, right in the center of that man's face. Poor Jey. And I just have to say, in the 14 years that I have been watching professional wrestling, I don't think I've seen anything quite like that. Yes, I've seen steel chairs and different objects being thrown at people, but it was just the effect of the desk chair that really did something to me. The desk chair, I feel like is a lot heavier than a steel step. I know that might be hard to believe, but I'm pretty sure it is. And I don't know, it was just the effect that made it just more dramatic. And I loved it. And, it was pure chaos. And like I said, I just loved every second of it. And Bronson was doing tsunami after tsunami after tsunami, and poor Jey was just going freaking through it. But this faction is truly dominating Raw, and I just love to see it. They are like the dark state of Monday Night Raw, and I am obsessed. All right, let's get into the Gunther segment. So Gunther has been talking so much crap, and he got mad that Goldberg hasn't done anything about it. And what did I say? If you guys have been watching for at least a month, what did I say when Goldberg came back? I said, he is not going to come during the Road to Saturday Night's main event. He's going to come maybe once if we're lucky. And what happened? Goldberg came out. So a video came on the screen and it was of Goldberg pulling in with a car and then him like charging into the building. And then obviously his music hit and it was just this whole thing. And to be honest, like when I heard that music and when I saw him, I freaked out. Like, and I talked about this on Instagram and TikTok earlier today. Like everyone's trying to act like this isn't a big deal and like this retirement match means nothing. And all of a sudden we're old shaming him. Like I obviously understand he's not the cream of the crop top tier talent anymore, but I'm still very excited. And I still feel like this has the potential to be like a banger low key, like a banger for what it can be. I'm not saying it's gonna be like 10 out of 10 match, but like I don't know. I'm delusional. I think it'll be fun. But Goldberg got in the ring and you could just see the fear all over Gunther's face. And, Goldberg told him, talk your crap, because Gunther ran out of the ring so scared before Goldberg could even do any damage. But I guess we're going to have to wait for that on Saturday. But yeah, I'm really loving seeing this fearful side of Gunther. I feel like we always see this very like poker face Gunther, and to see that he actually has like feelings and emotions like fear, I think that's really awesome. And I'm loving that Goldberg is able to bring that side out of him. And I'm really curious to see what happens on Saturday. I mean, I think Goldberg wouldn't win the title at all, but what I am curious about is to see if Seth cashes in. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's definitely a possibility. I mean, at this point, anything is a possibility. So really excited to see where that goes. But let's talk about the main event. We had Seth Rollins versus Penta. This was an amazing match. I mean, this was a PLE caliber match, if you will. I mean, there were so many crazy move sequences and spots that just made this super incredible. I mean, I just have to say also the crowd was very behind Penta, and the whole match, everything was just amazing. It made me so happy. And I also felt so happy that Penta got that recognition and support from the crowd, because I feel like he really deserves it. And I'm really just counting down the days until they put a World Heavyweight Championship on this man, or really any title for that matter. I think he's somebody who absolutely deserves it and has worked so hard just to get to this point. And so, I'm just really happy for him. And I truly believe that Penta and Seth, had just a banger. But in the end, I really thought Penta had Seth beat, but things happened the way they happened and Seth Rollins won the match. And after, Seth yelled at Paul Heyman and said, quote, "Call him now." And Paul got on the phone and yelled at the phone and said, quote, "We need you now, we need you now." And then Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker came out, and part of me at first, I didn't realize that's who he was calling. I thought he was calling whoever this Plan B is, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. I'm not really sure. But I'm really curious to see when Plan B is going into effect. Obviously, we know that Braun and Bronson have no clue what Plan B is, so I'm really curious to see if that's something that goes into effect at Saturday night's main event, if it goes to effect at SummerSlam on a regular Raw or SmackDown, or when that's going to happen. But I don't know. I'm really excited. Maybe it happens when he's trying to cash in. Maybe it's like a protection thing where it's like maybe Plan B, whoever it is, comes out to ensure that Seth freaking Rollins does win the World Heavyweight Championship back. To be honest, I'm not too sure. But then LA Knight attacks Seth, but Braun and Bronson were quick to fight back. And obviously that's the whole teaser for their match this weekend. But let's head into my overall thoughts. I thought it was a pretty solid show. I would say that my match of the night was definitely Seth Rollins versus Penta. I just thought it was a very high quality match, and I really, really enjoyed just simply seeing the two of them collide and being in that ring together. And then obviously my segment of the night was Gunther and Goldberg. That was just a little adrenaline boost that I really needed at that moment. And, it just gave me goosebumps everywhere. And I'm just so excited for this match on Saturday. I know a lot of people aren't, but overall, I rate the show about a 7.5 out of 10. And, I just wanted to say something really quick. I've been preaching it all over social media, and I need to bring it to the pod as well. A lot of professional wrestling fans, specifically tribalistic WWE fans, have had an issue with the fact that WWE and AEW have shows this weekend. Obviously, we have NXT, The Great American Bash, Saturday night's main event, and All in Texas, all on Saturday, and then Evolution on Sunday. And I just want to encourage you that you do not have to pick a side. Wrestling is way too good right now to only enjoy one part of it. There are so many companies, even outside of AEW and WWE, that you can enjoy, like TNA, New Japan, a bunch of really high-end indie promotions like GCW, House of Glory, just so many different promotions. And, it's really sad to see us dividing sometimes like that. But I just, personally, I'm not going to be watching NXT The Great American Bash live because I will be watching AEW All In. And don't worry, I will be having reaction videos coming out for that. And then by the time, if the show runs 5 hours like it normally does, it should be ending around 8:30 p.m., which is when Saturday night's main event is starting. So hopefully I can get reaction videos for that out as well. And then obviously I'll do reactions for Evolution on Sunday. But obviously with those three shows, it's impossible to watch everything all in one sitting. So, I just encourage you, watch what you want to watch. Don't be a jerk about it. You don't have to pick sides. You can enjoy it all. It's going to be a great weekend of professional wrestling, and I just cannot wait for it all. But thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode of Champion the Passion. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed. Follow me at It's Victoria Daisy across all social platforms, and follow Champion the Passion across all streaming platforms. Don't forget to champion your passions and celebrate the joy in what you love, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.